Hey everyone, welcome back to Reopening the School of Science. We have begun the defence of our Premier League title really quite well. We made some massive signings, we have changed the tactic. We've got two tactics that we're kind of going to at the moment, and it has reaped the rewards. Lorenzo Luca is on fire. Our two wing-backs are just leading the way on the assists. It's going really well. Let's just get straight into it. Let's go. Before we look at the all-important transfers though, everyone, if you want to do us a massive favour, hit that like button down below. Leave a comment. How do you rate our transfer business? Do you think we've done well enough to retain our Premier League title in that regard? And do you think we can actually make a significant dent into the Champions League? Where do you predict we are going to go? Because today we've got a massive league game against Man City, as you can see. And then we've also got our home UEFA Champions League game. Third round against Barcelona, third round of fixtures. We've already played two games. You will just about see, maybe just above my head over here, that we drew 2-2 away at Bayer Leverkusen. That was after a 2-0 win at home to Basel. Now, we are currently unbeaten in the league. And with this Man City game is technically a game in hand over second and third placed Liverpool. Which, if we win, will put us 5 points clear of Chelsea with Man United still to play. But yeah, where else? Best place to start. Where else do we go? Is transfers. Now, it was quite a big window, quite a few key players left, and quite a few big names came in. As you can see, we actually only really made like 3 paid transfers. That was after the season end. We did sign some more before. Let's have a look. Sort the date out. So we did sign our youngsters. In Michael Jakubkowski, who actually looks like a really decent player. Sorry, I'm just looking over. As you saw in the last episode, my mic stopped recording, so I'm not only just checking that the mic is still recording, but I'm also checking that my camera is not overlying this player profile screen. So here's someone we signed from Leverkusen. He is out on loan at Red Star Belgrade at the moment. He's a midfielder, and he looks like he could be... I mean, to be fair, he could probably do a job for the team as a rotation option as it is at the moment. But he is out at Red Star and developing quite nicely, really. A couple of the others was this guy, Vaclav Danek. He's out on loan at RWD in the Netherlands. I think we signed him from Slavia Prague. Harvard Leonardson. He is also out on loan at VVV Venlo in Netherlands. Another defender. Oscar Gomez is someone who our scouts were adamant that we should sign, and he is out on loan at Sunderland, and he's already got his first cap for the Mexican national team. Yeah, I don't know why my scouts were so adamant that we sign him. He definitely is a player with potential. He's got 4-star minimum, and he's got he's worth a lot of money, and he's a left-footed centre half. Maybe that inflated his value. I don't know, but this guy is the guy we're really excited about. Helmut Geisbauer. He is currently out on loan at Valencia. He's playing mainly for the Valencia Mestalla team. He's got 20 under-21 caps. He's only 18. He's 6'4", and he looks like an absolute monster in goal. He's got great reflexes already, really good one-on-ones. Passing is already at a decent standard. Good aerial reach, good communication of his area. He's got a lot of good stats, which tick a lot of boxes for us. So when we can get him back, hopefully we can get a work permit for him. And I've just realised all these new gens. I've not re-uploaded the face pack, new gen face pack, because that is currently active on the Pentagon save. But the real big one that we signed just before the end of the season was Sergio Gomez, which is someone we did touch on. He is actually mainly playing in that left wing back role at the moment. Him and Mikolenko are rotating quite nicely, and he has been a massive success already. We employed a subtle tweak in the tactics which enabled us to get the most out of them, and that was that we actually added the overlap on, because even though we were playing both our wing backs as wing backs on attack duty, just putting that overlap in just seems to get them into play a lot more in behind the sort of like the fullbacks of the opposition. So yeah, that's worked really nicely for us. And then yeah, that brings us on to this season. Adam Klozak, as we touched on, he joined for free essentially from Sparta Prague, and he's enjoyed a relatively good start to his career. We've just played Watford, and he came off the bench and scored twice, including a header from a corner. Little Adam Klozak managed to get on the end of that. I say little, he's 6'1", but he always seems small compared to Lorenzo Luca. But then again, who wouldn't? Now we also signed Husam Awar, just to try and add a little bit of creativity into that number 10 role. He's had a very mixed start to his career so far with us. He's only got 3 assists. He got 2 in the UEFA Champions League game against Bayer Leverkusen, but in the league he's been quite uninspiring, to be honest with you. 5 appearances, 6.6 rating, no goals, no assists. We've been playing him in that number 10 role. That's where he actually requested to be played as part of his contract, and we agreed to that in the hope that it would keep his contract fee down a little bit. But yeah, between him and CDK, they seem to probably suffered the most with the tactical change. CDK not getting the sort of level of numbers that he was last season, although he has started to pick up lately. This is a signing I was really quite excited about, to be honest with you. I know a lot of people sign him, but James Ward-Prowse, trying to make the most of our aerial prowess, particularly from set pieces. Basically, he is the guy you sign. 20 corners, 20 free kick taking. That 20 free kick taking came into effect pretty much in his first league game for us, because we played the Community Shield, everyone, where we beat Leeds 1-1 on penalties, and both Ward-Prowse and CDK got injured in that game. CDK was out for about 3 weeks, and Ward-Prowse was out for 5 or 6 weeks. So perfect, ideal start to our season was those two getting injured, which kind of knackered us a little bit, because then we played Leeds, beat them on penalties. Obviously, you don't have extra time in the Community Shield. We then played Liverpool in the European Super Cup, UEFA Super Cup, whatever they want to call it. 1-1, went to pens, lost on pens 4-2. Obviously disappointing anyway to lose on penalties, but it meant that everyone was knackered for the first game of the season away at Southampton, where we just about scraped a 1-1 draw, because we couldn't really field a full strength team, particularly in midfield. And yeah, everyone was exhausted after 2 grueling games within the last sort of 5 days. We played Community Shield on the Sunday, Super Cup I think on the Wednesday, and then Southampton away on the Saturday. So everyone was absolutely done in. But yeah, we brought him on, I think it was against Villa or something, and he smashed one into the top corner in off the bar after about 80 minutes. And then this was another big signing that I wasn't particularly expecting to make, but I thought, you know what, who's a homegrown defender who could really bolster our back line? And we got Fikayo Tomori in from Inter Milan. Big money, a lot of money we spent on him, but I would say he's been worth it, but he's not played many games for us because he's been injured for about the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 games with a torn quad, torn thigh muscle, yeah. So he's due back in the next sort of 2 weeks. But he actually is playing a lot better now since we've tweaked the tactic, which again we'll get into. Now in terms of outgoings, we actually ended up doing a lot more than we planned. If we go to, have we got anything from last season that happened apart from? Okay, yeah, I can't remember if the Firmino sale had happened before the end of the last episode. So he went to Monterrey for 22.5 mil. We flipped him from a 9 mil signing the year before to a 22.5 mil sale to Monterrey. Again, he wasn't really going to get the games over Luca or Vitinha, although we'll touch on that in a minute, because we already had Ricardo Pepi joining and Adam Plozak joining as well. And then Rooney Bargi and Ryan Kent could also do a job up top. So, you know what, he wasn't a fan of big games and was inconsistent, so we sold him. And the other big sale that we made just before the end of the season was Deli. He went to, believe it or not, everyone, he went to Arsenal for 30.5 mil. So we made a slight loss on him for about 9.5 mil because we signed him for 40. But, you know, he'd shown in that last season he was starting to dip a little bit, and I didn't want to risk losing any more money on him, so we sort of took what we could while we could. Now, in terms of other outgoings, obviously, Nico Schlotterbeck, we'd already touched on. I'm not going to move my face this time. I'm just going to tell you how much we sold them for. We sold him for 45 mil. Other big sales, Tom Krause, we had an offer for him from a couple of teams, and we managed to get 36.5 mil for him from Leverkusen. The deep line playmaker, decent player, but was, you know, maybe not going to sort of really push on much more than he had already, even though he's still relatively young. But we signed him for 26 mil, so we made a decent sort of 10 mil profit on him. And yeah, you know, no issues with him. Really, really solid player, but, you know, time was on to sort of refresh that area, I think, really. Corentin Tolisso, he went to Benfica for 30 mil. Now, he only had a year left on his deal. I wasn't particularly interested in trying to renew it, to be honest with you. because I felt like we could probably bring in better options. So to get 30 mil for someone who we signed for a free literally 2 seasons before, and yeah, he'd been a very good servant for us. If we look, free signing. He got what in his time with us? 6.86, 6.85, a solid rotation option. We sometimes could play him at right back. I was relatively happy with what he did, but he wasn't anything special. Abdoulaye Doucouré, he was another one. He only had a year left on his deal, 31 years old, 3-star at the most. And in order to sign, he wanted a massive pay rise from something like 125 to like almost 200k. I was like, you've got a year left on your deal. I don't want to be paying you through my nose to keep you for another 3 years, when realistically you've probably only got 1 year left in you at a decent standard before we start trying to bring in new players. So we sold him for Dino Mokia for 25.5 mil, which when Everton actually paid, I think, like a similar value. Okay, actually made a 3 mil profit on him, 22.5 mil. Everton signed him for. We made 3 mil on him 4 years later when he's that little bit older, only a year left on his deal. I think that's great business. A couple of other little deals we did, loan signings for some of the youngsters. Another one that we did was Lewis Dobbin went to Eintracht Frankfurt for 15 million. Now, he was someone who I would have liked to have kept him around because he was a youth academy prospect, but he wasn't really going to get any better. His development, I think he'd peaked in that regard. Even though he's still quite young, the scouts and the staff were saying he was only really ever going to be 2.5 star at the most. So, he went to Frankfurt, and I think 15 mil for him is a good bit of business. Now, the two sales, that you can't see on this is because they've not gone through yet. Now, bear with me, everyone, and hold on to your hats a little bit. But Richarlison and Vitinha are both leaving. Now, Vitinha had quite a poor start to the season, and there have been clubs sniffing in and around for him for a while now. We signed him for 17 mil. He was on a decent wage. We needed to free up some finances after the business we'd done already. And, we needed to get a bit of money back into the club, sort of correct the wage budget a little bit. And, my concern was Vitinha at his peak, which, if so, fine. But if he carried on underperforming, his value was only going to dip. So we offered him out. We got a few bids. No one really bid. No one really wanted to give us what we wanted. And then final day of the season, in fact, basically after the transfer window closed, we got a £60 million bid from Juve, I think it was. And they faffed around with us, to be honest with you. They offered us a loan deal, which we tried to negotiate with them, and then they kind of just backed out of it, with like a mandatory signing fee. And then they just literally just threw down 60 mil for him. So he's going to Juve in the January for 60 million. And Richarlison making a slight loss when you factor into account instalments. Obviously, Everton bought him for 45 mil from Watford, but I'm pretty sure it's basically 50 million if we all follow the song. And he is going to Inter for 40 mil. Now, I think for a player at 27 who has, don't get me wrong, he's done well for us. But to basically make 100 mil off Richarlison and Vitinha when the outlay was 62 mil, it's like a 38 mil profit over those two players. I don't really think we can complain too much with that when we have got the likes of Anthony Gordon still, Rooney Bargi, Adam Klozak, Ryan Kent, Ricardo Pepe coming through. I think build for the youth, try and buff the value of these players up to a point where then if we get a bit of interest in the summer, we can then flip them for big money and then try and maybe reinvest in a really solid winger or second striker if that's what we're going with. Anthony Gordon I want to keep for as long as possible because in real life I love him, and also he is academy graduate from the club. He's played a role in a lot of the games that we've had, to be honest with you. A lot of the success. He scored the penalty in the FA Cup final in our first season against Newcastle, and he's done quite a lot of other good, to be honest with you. But you will see, just looking at this, we're playing with Pedro Porro and Sergio Gomez as the wing backs, and Pedro Porro 4 assists and a goal. I'll show you that goal because it was an absolute thing of stupendous skill. And Sergio Gomez 5 assists, and you'll see that the benefit that has had is with Lorenzo Luca, who is on 8 goals in 11 appearances. So let's look at the schedule because. So Leeds, we had Luca scoring against Leeds and against Liverpool. Scraped a last-minute draw with Diego Moreira against Southampton. Then beat Arsenal 2-1. And then Aston Villa 2-0. This was the game where Ward-Prowse scored that belter free kick. Luca then got a hat-trick against Blackburn. We beat Basel, beat Leeds again. And then, yeah, we got absolutely smashed in the Carabao Cup by Liverpool. I don't know what happened. The defence just fell apart. The board don't care about the Carabao Cup, so they weren't that bothered that we got knocked out. But this is the game which really mattered against Liverpool, and that was the derby at Bramley Moor. And yeah, Pedro Porro scored an absolute wonder goal, and I will show you it now. So we had set-piece maestro, James Ward-Prowse open it in. Jared Branthwaite's header saved by Alisson Becker, but straight into the feet of Rudy Bardew, smashed it in. Now this is the Pedro Porro goal. He picks it up in the right back position, runs the entire length of the pitch before slamming it into the top corner. Now that was just incredible. And then Liverpool did get one back through some sloppy play on our part. Jared Branthwaite trying to find Lorenzo Luca, not doing it. Nico Rivera feeding Mo Salah, who scored. But we held on and we won 2-1 in the derby, which is our second league derby win at home. Obviously one at Goodison and now one at Bramley Moor in a row. Then drew 2-2 with Leverkusen, came from behind twice, which is a bit disappointing, but you know what, an away draw we will take. And then, as I said, we've just beaten Watford 4-0 away, and that brings us nicely into our first game of today's episode, which is against Man City. So drop your thoughts down below. Can we beat Man City? 6th place, still with Sergio Conceição in charge. And their squad right now is kind of looking a little bit like this. They've got a suspended Erling Haaland, so they're probably going to go with Mbappe and Julian Alvarez up top, with Raheem Sterling, Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne and Frankie de Jong. I think is pretty much going to be that back four. I would imagine this lineup to basically be as is, but just with Erling Haaland out for probably Mbappe, or maybe Liam Delap, because he's got 4 goals for them so far. But we'll see. Our lineup is going to be kind of as you'd expect. What else has happened this day? We've had Chelsea beat Blackburn, Leeds beat Spurs, Newcastle beat Watford, West Ham leaving it late to beat Aston Villa, and Brighton early kickoff smashing Southampton 3-1, which keeps Brighton quite nicely away from the relegation zone. It's quite tight still at the bottom, so yeah, that could go anyway really at the moment. I mean, I know we're only 8 games in, but yeah, I think any one of these teams here, obviously look at Arsenal, languishing in 16th, could potentially get drawn into that relegation battle. And I mean, if Arsenal go down, we'll be looking to snap up some of their players. Ødegaard, Saka, Smith Rowe maybe. Yeah. So we've just had an international break, so we've got a lot of players struggling a little bit for fitness. So like Sergio Gomez, Mikalenko's not fully fit either, to be fair. CDK's not fully fit. So we're going to go with Aouar. We're going to go with Pickford can go back. We're giving Verbruggen a bit more game time. We tried to sell him, but no one really gave us a decent offer. But he's actually been developing quite nicely behind the scenes. So he's just going to keep... I think we're just going to rotate him in and out of the team, to be honest with you, as we go. So yeah, we're alternating either between this 5-2-3, which Jake Cooper is currently using a similar style with his Villareal team. So this was like the base one that we had and that we were using, and we just trained this just to add in a bit of flexibility because we have got some very natural wide players. And yeah, it's the instructions, everything is the same, still looking for the overlap on the left and the right. Like I said, everything else is as it is on this one, just we literally just split the attackers. So instead of having 2 strikers and 1 number 10, we just got 1 striker and 2 wingers. Now the other thing we changed is we changed the central defender to a stopper, because that suited Tomori's anticipation and reading of the game. And then we played Ben Godfrey because he's quite rapid as a covering ball playing defender, and so far that's working really, really well for us. Now it is, I think, kind of as we expected with Man City, except I think they're playing Grealish on the left over Sterling. And I'm really disappointed with the graphics on the Bramley Moor Stadium. It looks pants. And yeah, Bernardo Silva. Now that midfield is a strong midfield, don't get me, physically, but I don't know how much steel is in there. Frankie de Jong obviously is a bit of a battler, and De Bruyne is not afraid of throwing his body around, but I don't look at that and think, there's no Rodri there, there's no obviously Fernandinho at this point will have probably retired in game anyway, but there's no one who's really going to put a foot in and shut someone up. Grealish giving away a nice early foul, and to honestly, it looked quite cynical, so I know it's only 15 seconds in, but I really think he should have been getting booked for that, personally. Yeah, I don't know, I just feel like... But then again, you could look at ours and say, yeah, well, you've got Ward-Prowse and Aouar, and neither of them are going to necessarily... are known for their ball-winning prowess, maybe. but I'm quite enjoying having the ball like box to box. Oh, that's a pen. Grealish again. Cynical tackle. He's got to get booked. That's his second foul inside, what, 8 minutes? That's obviously going to be a penalty. And who's going to take it? Yeah, surely he's going to get booked. Yeah, he's got booked. You know, he has to get booked. He's just given away a cynical foul earlier. It's going to be Luka taking it. And you know how I know that? Because he's massive. He's an absolute unit. Oh, and it's saved. He hits it straight at Edison, straight down the middle. Why isn't Ward-Prowse taking it? Oh, actually, he's only got a penalty taken of 12. He always takes the penalty for Southampton. Lucas' penalty taken is 14. I would have just assumed that his penalties would have been so much better than that Ward-Prowse. Because he is literally just does everything for Southampton. Free kicks, corners, pens. Can't believe Luka missed that penalty. But it bodes well because so far it looks like we're absolutely dominating this City team. And I think if we can carry on in this vein, we'll get another chance sooner rather than later. There we go. Luka feeds Porro. Now Luka should be... I know I've got to hit early crosses on, but you know there's early and there's just hitting it into the box because I told you to hit it early, but there's no one in there. Oh, Ryan Kent burst through. Lovely. Lovely, Ryan. Well done. Feeds Mikolenko. He smashes it over. Oh my days. He's booked as well, so I'm going to ease him, tell him to ease off tackles. Sorry, I just felt my phone buzzing, and I'm just making sure. Okay, that's fine. No, I was just expecting a message from the wife just to say when she's coming out. Yes, Luka! Makes up for his early mistake in missing the penalty. Great cross from Mikolenko. Luka bullets the header past Edison. No chance. And that has been a pattern so much of our play this season. I'm just going to tweak my camera a little bit, everyone. And that has been a pattern of our play so much this season. Exactly how we wanted it to work, especially since we've put on the overlap, is the fullbacks getting in behind and getting the cross in for Luka. And he just doesn't miss. But yeah, since we've had injuries to Renan and Tamori, so we've been playing Branthwaite and Ballard a little bit more. Generally very good. Ballard does, however, love giving away a foul. He gave away a penalty against Leverkusen, which Moussa Dembele scored with aplomb. But what a save from Pickford. What a reaction save. One thing I have noticed with the change in roles, because obviously we used to have 2 BPDs on defend, and the middle one was a libero. And I found that with 3 defenders, they weren't always picking the defenders up and the strikers in the box, which was really quite concerning. You know, 3 against 1 and they couldn't find them. But with putting them on, you know, sort of a variety of roles, you know, defend, cover and stopper, I find that between the 3 of them, they all kind of seem to pick players up quite easily. Well, I don't mind that. Dodo can smash it over from there. Ward-Prowse, Ben Godfrey hits the post. I was going to say he did look offside. He's off tackles, mate. I do wonder if telling Ward-Prowse to stay wider, he might get in the way of Pedro Porro, but puts him a bit wider. You can just swing crosses in, you know, for days from deep as well. Just wonder if it'll leave too much of a gap in the middle though, and maybe isolate our a little bit. Okay, so Mikolenko's knackered. That's fine. We can bring on Sergio Gomez. Yeah, Sergio Gomez has been really, really good. He can play anywhere really on that left-hand side. He can either play left side of midfield or left wing. But yeah, as I said, you know, with this tactic, we're mainly using him as a left wing back. And yeah, 5 assists so far for the club is really quite lovely stuff. And actually, since he's been with us, he's got his first international call up for Spain, and that's well charged down by that man himself, Sergio Gomez. I'm not going to drop the defensive line yet too early because I don't want to invite pressure on too soon. Playing with the slightly higher line seems to be working for us. They're not getting through with too much regularity. We should be forcing them outside. Let me just check. We are? Yeah, we are. I find, to be honest with you, that force outside is probably the best go-to defensive shape. Because I feel like 9 times out of 10, the teams you come up against are playing with some sort of inverted wide player. Oh, Grealish is going to get sent off, surely. Yeah, that's his second yellow. And City are down to 10 men. And that's surely going to be the game now. They're going to really struggle, I think, for creativity. Yeah, I just find that is what works the best, to be honest with you. Is it just keeps those inside players like struggling to get into the areas where they want, because you just like congest. I can't think of the word I was thinking. Like, what are all the charges in the big cities for traffic? You just congest that space in and around the box, and they just can't get through, so they have to go wide onto their unfavoured foot. You know what? I'm just going to demand a bit more. That didn't work. I just don't want them to rest on their laurels. Luca heads it across goal, but it just goes over. We're going to make another change. We're going to bring Moreira on for Rudy Bargi, another one of our youngsters. Branthwaite flagging. Pedro Porro flagging. Pedro Porro is class, and you know what? We've got a perfectly capable understudy in Nathan Patterson. Sergio Gomez whips it in. Luca, just glanced at the bar. Right, I think now, I know that we are playing against 10 men, but I think now we're just going to throttle back a little bit. Just change up the play style a little bit, just to throttle it through to the end of the game. But there's 5 points clear. Although I think United are still got to play. I think they're playing Burnley, so you'd expect them to win. But yeah, I do wonder if this season, because I was thinking, yeah, because Jurgen Klopp has left Liverpool to go to Real Madrid, so I do wonder if actually this season we might be in with a shout of actually retaining our title, which I didn't necessarily expect us to be able to do, but I think if certain teams continue to underperform or struggle to transition with, you know, sort of new managers, then you know what, it might actually be doable that we keep our hands on the Premier League title. Because at first I was thinking, it's going to be too much, you know, we winning it last season, you know, probably a bit of a fluke, although, you know, we did get 92 points. But, you know, it's probably not something that's going to be that readily repeatable. But then seeing the managerial movements that happened, I did kind of think, actually, you know what, maybe it might be possible. Tame header from Lucas straight into the hands of Edison. I mean, City is sitting so deep now. Yeah, and that's going to be the game. You know what, if you'd have offered me 1-1 before, I wouldn't have been too displeased. But to basically throw it away against 10 men is really disappointing. Yeah, not best pleased, I think, really. So we've got the home game against Barcelona now. If we win, we go top of the table. So really good opportunity to make the most of the home advantage before we then go to the Camp Nou. Or what is it called now? The Spotify Camp Nou. Obviously that won't be in this game. But the Spotify Camp Nou, yeah, before we go there. We are reverting to the more sort of like the diamond 3 in midfield, or triangle 3 in midfield, or triangle 3 in attack, if you want to call it that. Just to sort of keep things fresh, but otherwise we're still going to play very much on the front foot, because this Barcelona team, you'll see it in a minute, that they're not actually as good as I would have expected at this stage in the game, to be honest with you. Usually they always seem to find a way of correcting their financial issues and sorting themselves out. One thing I did actually check, everyone, just after we touched on it in the last video when I was doing the little commentary thing, Atalanta did retain the Serie A, which I absolutely love that, to be honest with you. Sorry, I know I said it last time, I am just constantly checking, make sure microphone is still okay and light and stuff is all okay. Just a paranoid after I had, like, I think in the last season, I had two videos where the mic sort of just cut out and just stopped recording, I don't know why. But yeah, we're going with Klojak up top to partner Luca. and Renan is in for Branthwaite. Now, yeah, you'll see this Barcelona team, because I did check it out. As soon as I found out I had Barcelona in the Champions League, I thought, great. But Ter Stegen, yeah. Eric Garcia, yeah. But they still got Longley. They brought Theo Hernandez in from Milan. Clement Longley there. Guido Rodriguez, I don't know who this guy is. They've got Gavi, yeah, fine. Pedri, yeah, decent, obviously. Ferran Torres, yeah. Ansu Fati. Marcos Leonardo, don't get me wrong, is a good player. Good sort of wonderkid player. But I don't know, the kind of Gallagher and that. I feel like this team could be a lot better, and I feel like we've probably matched them with the quality that we have. Oh yeah, and what is big is that Barcelona don't have Araujo because he got sent off against Basel. So, yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic for this Barcelona game, and like I said, a win here would be massive, because then we do play them straight away after this. And as you can see at the moment, we are currently, 3 points clear of Leverkusen. And obviously if we can get a win, even better. Just would be nice to get through after the disappointment last season. I do feel like that defence can be exploited. In fact, you know what? I might put Klojek onto a pressing forward. Just to put a bit of pressure on that back line, because I don't think they're going to be the most agile. Certainly not Longley anyway. Tasty shot from Eric Garcia there. Daniel Ballard booked already. He loves a booking, Daniel Ballard does. Central defender on stopper, please. You can't pass. Well, you can, just not as well as the others. I love Sergio Gomez's deliveries. They're just class. Oh, what a ball. That was a great ball in from Ward-Prowse. So yeah, we have Ward-Prowse taking the in-swinger on the left-hand side, and Gomez, taking the in-swinger on the right. That's lovely. I love it. What the animation on that header from Ansu Fati. What a save from Pickford. Ferran Torres ghosted in. I don't like that. Don't like that at all. It was too easy. Yeah, so Burnley did lose to United. Only 1-0. Leandro Paredes goal quite late on. I think 82nd minute for United. And we are also now in talks for another takeover. Over the summer, there was another failed takeover. So hopeful for another one. Hopefully that this one will go through. And Hussein Awar there, as we were talking, had a great chance burst through on goal. Yes, Renan, away. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. I think he's onside. I do think he's onside. If he's off, it's very, very close. He's going back to the Cristiano Ronaldo assist. He doesn't play there. What the hell's going on with that? Yeah, I did think he was onside. He was going back to the centre circle. It's a good header out from Renan, but Klozak really needs to drop deep. But it's a great ball through from Pedri for Ansu Fati to smash home. What can Sergio do with this one? Whips it in. Luca. Yes! Oh, get in. Beautiful. Lorenzo Luca. 5 minutes left and Barcelona went ahead. Another Sergio Gomez free kick. Lorenzo Luca bullets the header in. No stopping that. On all. Wonderful. Klozak. Luca tries to find Gomez. Fails spectacularly. CDK wins it. Gomez. Well, yeah, but now we're playing CDK and Awar both as advanced playmakers, and it's not something I would normally do. But it's just CDK. I want to keep him in the team for his ability, and he can't really play any other role that we'd want him to play. He can play as a DLP, but I feel like as an advanced playmaker, we get him just in that little bit more of a dangerous position where he can influence the game more. Although he does play as more of a deep line playmaker when we have the wingers. Come on. Ferran in acres of space there. Great header away from Daniel Ballard. We may have to look to take off at some point for Branthwaite. Oh, Lucas in again. Oh my god! There's going to be a goal line for that. Underside of the crossbar after you just bullied his way through the defence after the pass from Klozek. Surely we're going to see that. I can't believe they've not shown us the goal line for that, because that looked like it was very close, and Leverkusen have taken the lead against Basel. Go in there and make it happen. A few tired legs out there. The thing I like about this tactic is it's not massively intense. It's about average intensity. So I feel like we managed to save a lot of the legs of the players. I think I did play CDK as a supporting centre mid, but he's not the most defensively able, and I just worried that with a CM on support, you know, he's kind of has to balance defence and attack, and I kind of felt like maybe we would be, you know, at risk because he's not the best. Here's an idea. Our AM support, CDK, because obviously he excelled for us as a CM on attack, really. Let's try him with that. Let's try that and see how that gets on. Pickford palms it away. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Oh. He could do nothing about that. Nothing about that. Do I want to tell CDK to mark him? Probably not, really. He's going to get drawn away. Oh, lovely knock. Lovely knock. Luca's done in. Awar is having a stinker again. Really disappointed with his return so far. Let's try that now. I think Luca's going to need a break because he is just slowly getting more and more fatigued as the sort of games are going on. Come on. CDK also having a poor game. Let's bring on Nico. See if he can do a bit more in that midfield. Back at his old against his old teammates. Oh, that's a nice pass though. Still coming off, but it was a nice little pass. Change this because it's playing the Christmas playlist, the Christmas Stream Beats playlist. No, thank you. No one in behind you, Adam. No one in behind you, I'm afraid. I feel like we've definitely done enough to warrant a draw here, surely. That's a terrible, terrible ball across from Diego Moreira Jr. Nice switch over to the left flank. Now what can Sergio Gomez do? Flick. Oh, just over the bar. Yeah, perfectly balanced game. Perfectly balanced game. They're only in the league because of a jammy own goal. We're already kind of playing as attacking as we can. Yeah, Super Ben. No, come on. I think it's going to end in a defeat. With Leverkusen winning, leaves the group very perilously poised for us anyway. Although I think we beat Basel again. We hopefully beat Leverkusen at home. 2-1 loss to Barcelona. Disappointing. I mean, so everyone, I don't know what to make of that really. A 1-1 loss to Man City. 1-1 loss. 1-1 loss. 1-1 draw to Man City and a 2-1 loss at home to Barcelona. No shame in either performance. Results could have obviously been better for both easily, just because we played well enough. It's not like we didn't play well and didn't deserve the result. We did. But it leaves the group looking like this, and at least the table looking like this. If you can see, you can't see because I'm in the way. What if I do that? You can see just about 2 points clear of United, 5 points behind Barcelona, level on points with Leverkusen. So, you know what? I think it's doable. I think Champions League is doable. We've got to make sure we beat Leverkusen and Basel. Got to. So we'll go back to the middle now, everyone. Back to the middle. So, yeah, I hope you did enjoy the episode, though. I will see you all next time. We're going to bring it back. I think this Basel game is going to be the decider, isn't it, really, for that? So we'll bring it back around here. We'll have Basel and we'll have Chelsea away. And that'll be when the next episode is. I hope you have enjoyed it today, everyone. Take care, and I shall see you all next time. Bye.